Welcome to the AFN Sports Arena with Jantzee and Tory. I'm your host, Jantzee Ellis, joined in the AFN Okinawa studio by Air Force Staff Sergeant Tory Kuzumano.
What? There's a lot of negativity going on around here, Jantzee. I don't understand this.
We'll get
4 weeks
more
in a row.
to that later,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
the air in here is a little thick. How you doing today?
I am doing fantastic. It's a good day to be alive. Holiday season, spirits in the air.
Yes, almost December tomorrow.
Woo!
Almost there. I'm okay, fighting off a little bit of a cold.
Boo.
Tis the season.
Boo.
Yeah. I thank my husband. I never get sick, and he brought something home, and I got it.
See, that's the thing. You never thank your husband when he does something good. Gives you a cold, though.
Oh, curse him.
Thanks.
I know. Well, we've got a lot to talk about today with all the college football conference championship games airing on AFN TV this weekend.
Aw, yeah.
But first, I'm a little heated, and I need to get this off my chest.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Giants benching Eli Manning.
Oh, yeah.
Now
Let's do it.
I know you don't necessarily share my sentiment, but I think this is an absolutely ridiculous decision by the Giants front office and Ben McAdoo. This is about as unceremonious an ending for a two-time Super Bowl MVP quarterback I've ever seen, and it's totally uncalled for.
You know what, Jantzee? It's not totally uncalled for.
I'll explain to you why it is.
I don't think it is.
Okay, so the Giants are 2-9. Their season has been over for a while. And if they think that Geno Smith, the Jets' turnover-ridden reject quarterback, is the answer over Eli Manning,
savage,
they all deserve to be admitted to the loony bin. I could definitely see the argument if they had a rookie in the wings set to be the next franchise quarterback, but they don't. They have third-rounder Davis Webb, who's no Aaron Rodgers by any stretch. And also, if it were anyone other than Eli Manning, I could understand, but it isn't. Eli is a franchise icon with 222 starts over 14 years and has beaten Tom Brady and the Patriots in the Super Bowl twice. Nobody else can say that.
That's what I'm talking about. That's my favorite thing about Eli Manning. Eli Manning is an inconsistent quarterback. I'm going to say it.
But he's the comeback king.
He's a franchise quarterback. Listen, I know where you're coming from on this. Eli Manning is and has been a lot of things for New York that they haven't had in a long time. But when the time is up, this is a league of what have you done for me lately?
Okay. Well,
and the season is lost.
Yes.
Eli Manning is 30,000 years old.
No, he's 36.
Okay. But it's time to now take a look at what you have on your roster.
But they don't have anything.
The managed pay, they need to see. They need to see. Listen, I'm not saying that Ben McAdoo is smart. I think his name should be Ben Wackadoo.
And
which
he should
is a
shave
terrible,
that mustache.
terrible joke. But Eli Manning has not been there this year. They've only beaten the Broncos and the Chiefs. Okay. Listen, I know he hasn't had any receivers, Jantzee, but he has been missing some throws. And if the season is lost, why would you not now just treat the rest of the season like preseason where you're evaluating your entire roster?
I'll tell you why.
Who cares about streaks and this sort of thing?
I know, but it does end his 210-game streak, which is the second longest in NFL history.
Super Bowls, that's what matters, Jantzee.
Yes, I agree. And don't you think Super Bowl wins should buy a little bit of grace?
No,
at
not
least
at all.
A good ending, a good out. This could very well be. We could never see Eli on the Giants field again. Do you think this is the way that he should go out?
I don't know. I don't know if this is the end of his Giants career. It certainly feels like it. There's nothing set in stone yet. This doesn't automatically mean that he's going to be in a different uniform next year.
Yeah.
But
or retired.
I don't think, listen, I mean,
now, Ben McAdoo did say
disrespectful.
that they offered for Eli to keep starting, then be taken out to allow the other quarterbacks to play the rest of the game. But that's just ridiculous, and of course he didn't go for it. Eli isn't about vanity or streaks, and he knows that's not how you play football. You play to win, and that would just be selfish of him.
You play to win the game.
Exactly. But nobody can say it's Eli's fault for the state of the Giants season or that he could have done anything more. He's actually had one of his lowest turnover seasons in history.
Yeah, that's okay. Okay, all right. He hasn't turned the ball over.
And he has been
but
throwing
he ain't scoring any touchdowns
to chumps
either.
off the streets.
Yeah,
literally once.
Well, those chumps have beaten a couple of pretty good defenses in the Broncos and the Chiefs. Listen, I'm not saying that he has the great roster around him.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that if you look at the Super Bowl years and the years when he's performed well, the numbers aren't similar this year.
I just don't think that they should have done this at this time. They're not going to get one of those, they're going to be in the top 5 for the draft, but they're not getting some of the top 2.
I don't
San
know.
Francisco would have to win a couple
Cleveland
games.
too,
Cleveland would have to
but
win a couple games.
I mean, you know that you're not going anywhere, so why? I don't know.
But the pure emotion surrounding this is enough to, I think,
it's a business.
Exactly, though. But the business is the fans and the city. Who you don't have a team if people don't come to your games, if people don't buy the jerseys. So I think if they turn off the entire city of New York, I think regardless, there's going to be sweeping changes in the Giants front office.
For sure. I don't think McAdoo makes it. I think they're going to fire him.
And
he
Reese,
has been
the GM.
as bad as is ever possible. The fact that the players are saying that they're not behind him. That press conference the other week when they were like, "What'd you say to the players at halftime?" And he just basically threw his hands up and was like, I don't know what I said to my players. Like, that's pretty bad.
He doesn't have a whole lot going on up there. Okay, last thing I'm going to say. Broncos should have picked him up before the trade deadline when they had the chance.
Hey, we might still very well see him. It would have been fun to see. We might still very well see him in a Broncos uniform.
Elway and Manning are
36 years old was, how old was Peyton?
I think it was 38. 37.
No, when he came to us,
he was 37, I think.
He was 34.
No.
I don't know. We'll have to.
No, he was way older than that.
I don't know.
He played like 3 seasons and then retired. He was older than that.
I'm just saying Eli's got another year or two left in him good. So how awesome would it be that we took both Manning brothers to the Super Bowl?
I'm definitely rooting for that.
I'm on board with it.
We'll see. Okay. Well, speaking of franchise stars and sports royalty, did you see the King got ejected for the first time in his 15-year career? Really?
LeBron's a punk.
Okay.
He's on my punk list.
Okay. So LeBron was ejected in the third quarter against the Heat for complaining about a non-foul call. But what was more shocking were the 2 technicals called on him in a span of minutes leading up to it. LeBron had played 1,081 games in his NBA career without an ejection, and he definitely isn't a guy that comes to mind when you think of the hotheads that are getting thrown out all the time.
Oh, no, man. I think he gets away with a lot.
Okay, so what do you think?
He gets away with a ton.
Was this just a ref issue, or was LeBron being a diva?
I think he's been a diva his entire career. And I think he bumped the ref, and that was where he went wrong.
So he didn't actually touch him.
He didn't.
Okay, so this is what the NBA crew chief, Kane Fitzgerald, said.
That's a name.
Yeah. This was the ref that threw him out. He said, quote, "It was a culmination of a couple different acts. Immediately after the no call, he turned and threw an air punch directly at me, and then he aggressively charged me, and then he used vulgarity in my ear a few times."
That sounds like an anime
the eye roll emoji right after it. Vulgarity in my ears.
Yeah, vulgarity in my ears is the strangest phrasing I think I've ever heard in my entire life. But this is pure comedy from start to finish. This guy's quote, he air punched you?
Air punched directly.
Avatar the Last Airbender?
Directly at him.
Oh, my goodness.
I thought that was a little dramatic.
Listen, that is super dramatic. Yeah. I had not read that before or heard that. But my point still stands that LeBron is a diva, and I'm shocked that he has not been thrown out before. Any game, watch any Cavaliers game, just look at the, disdain and disrespect with which LeBron looks to and talks to the referees.
Yeah.
Because I'm convinced, Jantzee, that, I'm not saying there's some big conspiracy or something like that, but I think that the referees either on their own or are told by the NBA to treat certain players and certain teams differently than others.
Okay, so it's funny you say that. So Kyle Korver from the Cavs, he said, quote, "It's funny because when you're not on LeBron's team, you're like, man, that guy gets every call. But when you come on his team and you're like, man, that guy never gets any calls. It's unbelievable." So I think it's always in the eye of the beholder.
Whatever.
And, it's not like the Cavs were in danger of losing the game. Even with LeBron being ejected, they still won 108-97. And James said that part of his frustration was built up because he said they're trying to force him, so here's his conspiracy, to become a jump shooter, meaning they aren't giving him calls in the paint and want him to shoot more from the outside.
That doesn't make any sense for anything. That is the strangest thing that I've ever heard.
So that's his conspiracy.
That's like the flat earth. Him and Kyrie Irving should get together and have a conspiracy theory off, wearing their little aluminum foil hats and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't know, Jantzee. I don't think that's the case at all.
Now, whether that's the case or not, probably not. It's still exciting to see something out of the ordinary every now and then. And speaking of out of the ordinary, is it just me or are these college football conference championship games coming up this weekend have the potential to be unusually great.
Hype crew, let's go Hype crew. Right? This is college football fans nationwide right now.
Seriously.
This is what everyone is feeling.
Even
like.
if your team isn't in the top 4, top 10, it doesn't matter. These are some good games coming up.
I'm in favor of good football, and there's so much good football to be had.
And drama. I can't remember in recent years when there have been this many conference championship games that had huge playoff implications.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited. So we're going to outline a couple of the top games that we are going to be watching on AFN
Let's go.
this weekend.
Vamos equipo.
First, we obviously have to talk about the SEC showdown between Georgia and Auburn, which of course is only happening because Auburn shocked #1 previously undefeated Alabama off the top spot this past week and took the Iron Bowl 26-14. Remember, I totally called that?
You did.
I totally called it.
I wanted Auburn to win. I don't know if they had it in them, but they certainly did.
I totally called it. Those injuries.
War Eagle.
Too much.
Let's go.
Yeah. But I still called it.
Yes, you did. Yes,
and
so applause for Jantzee. Hold on. I got this. There we go.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You got it.
Credit where credit is due.
And that's not all. This is also a rematch and chance for Georgia to avenge also being knocked out of the top spot by Auburn 3 weeks before that.
Oh, yeah. They got lit
talk
up
about
by
drama.
Auburn.
What do you think? Will Auburn be the SEC champion and the first 2-loss team to earn a spot in the college football playoff?
They got the momentum.
Yeah.
They have the momentum.
Exactly.
Georgia's going to be hungry.
And mad.
And all of the above. They're going to be feeling many emotions.
Because they're on the outside looking in right now. They're not in the top 4. They're not in the playoff as it stands.
If they win this game, Jantzee, they sure will be.
I mean, they're at number 6 right now. A few other things have to happen.
I think if they win this, I mean, depending on the nature of the victory. But honestly, even if it's like, a 1-point victory and they're holding on by a thread, I still think they make it into the playoffs.
Yeah. Now, Auburn is already sitting at the number 2 spot, which only makes sense after knocking down 2 number 1 teams in 3 weeks. And if they win, they're in. But like you said, if the Bulldogs win, they may both be on the outside looking in. I mean, could this possibly be the first time an SEC team may not be in the playoffs?
I don't know. I feel like those guys that pick the college football playoff rankings, I feel like it's guaranteed that the SEC is going to. I would love to see no SEC teams in there. I don't think it would be good for college football. I'm just a hater. I've been drinking haterade this morning in case you couldn't tell.
You're a little salty over there. Okay, well, we shall see. Next up is the ACC championship game between number 7 Miami and number 1 Clemson. Now remember, after the Hurricanes pulled off a nearly undefeated season riddled with upsets, we're sitting pretty at the number 2 spot before being knocked back down to earth by Penn State after Thanksgiving.
Could say that.
Yeah. What do you think? Can Miami pull off one more big-time upset to possibly crack into one of those top 4 spots? Or will Clemson be ACC champs for the 3rd straight year and also secure the number 1 spot for the 3rd year in a row?
This is more difficult than the Auburn-Georgia game, I think. Yeah. I don't know. These are almost on equal footing. Miami's at number 7. Mm-hmm. That feels so much further to me than number 6. I don't know why. I still think if they can put a good shellacking on Clemson, that would get them in. But it'd have to
be good.
They'd have to get some style points. Jantzee, these teams are going to be so hungry. Yeah. Miami and Georgia, they're going to be because they were there.
And I mean, because Clemson's beat Auburn, yeah. I don't know. It would be interesting.
This is why they need to expand the field to 8.
I know. 8?
Yes.
You think?
Or 16. 16 would be preferable.
That'd take too long.
8 is only 1 more week.
I know 16 would take.
Weeks.
Okay.
16's
maybe. I think we need a few more years of this and a little bit more good feedback.
Or maybe they do wild cards like they do.
Wild cards. There's an idea. Yeah. There's an idea. Okay, moving on. Then we have Big Ten action between number 8 Ohio State and number 4 Wisconsin. Poor Wisconsin. They're the only undefeated team from a Power 5 conference, yet they just barely cracked the top 4 for the first time this week, only after Alabama's fall from grace. They say it was due to their lack of strength of schedule, and a win over Ohio State and a Big Ten championship would definitely help with that. And as much as I like Urban Meyer and I'm intrigued by J.T. Barrett and the ongoing investigation into the mysterious cameraman that bumped into him and injured his knee.
Yeah, right?
I'm pulling for Wisconsin.
Speaking of conspiracy theorists,
right?
Urban Meyer can go join LeBron and Kyrie Irving.
When he said ongoing investigation, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's got to be tape of it somewhere.
I want to see that show. I want to see CSI Ohio State edition. Detectives questioning people and getting to the bottom of crimes.
Yeah, and Ohio State, like I said, they're even farther than 7. They're way out in 8. And I'd be pretty sad if they knocked out Wisconsin, who, I mean, you can only do the best with what you're given.
I like Wisconsin. They've completely changed up their blueprint for how their team should be built. They used to be built power running and defense. Now they got a little bit more speed. They're not afraid to spread the field a little bit, and I like to see that. It's exciting football.
Yeah, they're fun to watch.
12-0, I feel like, I get the strength of schedule thing, but this is where those style points come into play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think Wisconsin deserves to be here.
Yeah, and my husband actually made a good point last night. We were talking about this, that strength of schedule, it's kind of subjective because even though, like, whoever Wisconsin's playing, they're getting their very best team each week.
Yeah, you got a target on your back.
So say they play, Penn State or whatever. You're getting the best Penn State team that will play all year.
Right.
Because you're that top dog.
Yeah, even, Appalachian State or something.
Yeah, you're getting the best team that they put on.
They're bringing their A game every single week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Wisconsin, I'm pulling for them for sure.
I
Nothing
totally
against
agree.
Ohio State, because I know a lot of Ohio State
But they're not getting into the
there.
playoff even if they win.
Yeah,
You're
right.
Next year for them. And then one game I definitely plan on watching is the Big 12 championship between number 3 Oklahoma and number 11 TCU.
Oklahoma, where the wind comes.
Yeah. Not because I necessarily expect it to be a great game or I think TCU can knock the Sooners off, but simply because Baker Mayfield is always exciting. Yeah. And barring some earth-shattering incident, he's also this year's Heisman Trophy winner. But who knows? Never say never. Crazier things have happened than a 2-loss team taking down a top dog. Oh, wait. That's right. A certain 2-loss team knocked off 2 number 1s is now sitting at number 2. So anything can happen.
Yes, it can.
And finally, we have the Pac-12 showdown between number 12 Stanford and number 10 USC. Now, this game doesn't necessarily contain a possible playoff team. Barring crazy outcomes in other games. It will still be a great game. The 2 California teams are vying for a spot in the Fiesta Bowl, which has big implications for future recruiting. And I just also enjoy watching Sam Darnold sling it around.
Yeah, I know you're a fan of his.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where his career goes.
Me too.
'Cause he's a good kid.
Good
dude. I'm always rooting for those good guys. So there's that. And of course, you can catch all of these championship games this weekend on AFN TV.
Oof.
Make sure you head over to myafn.net for your complete TV schedule. Okay, rundown. I want your predictions real quick.
Well, there's going to be rain in the forecast this weekend, Jantzee. So what else are you going to do?
Okay, hardy.
Tinseltown and all this stuff is
okay,
happening. But,
Auburn, Georgia.
Right. Auburn, Georgia. Go Bulldogs.
Okay.
I know it. I'm starting off strong.
Dang. Okay, ACC, Clemson, Miami.
I love that the U has returned to prominence, but I'm taking Dabo Swinney.
Probably smart. Okay,
Clemson.
Big Ten, Ohio State, Wisconsin.
Let's go Wisconsin.
Okay, I have to agree. Go Badgers. Big 12, Oklahoma and TCU.
I'd love to see Baker Mayfield get,
Me too.
Not decked in the face literally, but in the sense of his team losing.
Really?
So let's go TCU Horned Frogs. Horned Frogs. That's not how you say it.
Horned Frog.
LaDainian Tomlinson, a product of TCU.
They were always a hurdle
to
get over. Okay, and then finally, Pac-12, Stanford, USC.
I like Sam Darnold just like you do. Let's go USC. Nothing against Stanford, honestly. I want USC to win.
Okay, fair enough. But that's going to have to do it for us this week. Make sure you hit subscribe and join us next time as we'll know who is in the college football championship, and we'll also be talking Super Bowl. Have a great weekend. Stay safe out there. And don't forget, you have to look good to play good.